The unexpected encounter. Ava Chen wiped the sweat from her brow, her hands covered in grease as she tinkered with the engine of an old cargo freighter. The bustling spaceport of New Horizon hummed with activity around her, a cacophony of alien languages and the whir of machinery filling the air. As a human mechanic on this diverse space station, Ava had seen her fair share of interesting vessels, but nothing could have prepared her for what was about to land. A hush fell over the docking bay as a sleek, silver ship glided into view. Its design was unlike anything Ava had ever seen. Organic curves blended seamlessly with sharp angles, and its surface seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly iridescence. As it touched down, the ship emitted a soft, melodic hum that sent shivers down Ava's spine. The ship's hatch opened with a gentle hiss, and out stepped a being that took Ava's breath away. Standing nearly 7 feet tall, with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors like a living aurora, the alien cut an imposing figure. Its large, multifaceted eyes scanned the docking bay before settling on Ava. "Greetings, human." The alien's voice resonated in Ava's mind, a mixture of sound and telepathic communication. "I am Zarn of the Luminary. My ship requires assistance." Ava blinked, realizing she had been staring. Of course," she stammered, quickly regaining her composure. "I'm Ava Chen, one of the mechanics here. What seems to be the problem?" Zarn's skin rippled with shades of blue and green. "The quantum flux drive is experiencing fluctuations. Our technology is complex. I doubt your people have encountered its like before." Ava bristled slightly at the implied insult, but kept her cool. "With all due respect, Zarn, I've worked on ships from all corners of the galaxy. I may not know your specific tech, but I'm a quick study. Mind if I take a look?" The alien regarded her for a long moment, its eyes swirling with an array of colors. Finally, it nodded. "Very well, human. You may examine the ship. But be warned, the consequences of a mistake could be catastrophic." As Ava approached the luminary vessel, she felt a tingle of excitement mixed with apprehension. This was the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to work on technology far beyond human understanding. But one wrong move could spell disaster. The ship's interior was even more breathtaking than its exterior. Ava found herself in a cockpit that seemed alive. Holographic displays danced in the air, and the walls pulsed with energy. At the center was a glowing orb that Ava guessed was the quantum flux drive Zarn had mentioned. "Incredible," Ava whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. She pulled out her diagnostic tools and began to scan the systems, her mind racing to comprehend the advanced technology before her. Hours passed as Ava worked, with Zarn watching silently. The alien's presence was both unnerving and exhilarating. As she delved deeper into the ship's systems, Ava began to notice patterns, complex, beautiful, but with a subtle flaw that was causing the fluctuations. "I think I'd found the issue," Ava announced, her voice filled with excitement. "Your quantum harmonics are out of sync. It's causing a cascade effect through the entire system." Zarn's skin flashed with surprise. "Impossible. How could you understand our technology so quickly?" Ava grinned. "I told you, I'm a quick study. Plus, the principles aren't that different from some of the experimental drives I've worked on. The execution is just, well, light years ahead." She explained her findings, using her hands to illustrate the complex energy flows. As she spoke, she could see understanding dawn in Zarn's ever-changing eyes. "Remarkable," Zarn said finally. "Your species continues to surprise me, Ava Chen. What do you propose we do to fix this issue?" Ava took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. "Well, if you'll allow me, I think I can realign the harmonics. It'll require some careful adjustments, but I believe I can stabilize the system." Zarn was silent for a long moment, its skin shifting through a spectrum of colors as it considered. Finally, it spoke. "Very well. You may proceed. But know this, if you damage my ship, the consequences will be severe." With a nod, Ava set to work. Her hands moved with precision, guided by instinct and years of experience. She manipulated energy fields she barely understood, trusting in her abilities and the universal constants of physics. As she made the final adjustment, the quantum flux drive pulsed brightly. For a heart-stopping moment, Ava feared she had made a terrible mistake. But then the drive settled into a steady, harmonious hum. The entire ship seemed to come alive, its energy flowing smoothly and powerfully. Zarn's eyes widened, its skin erupting in a dazzling display of colors. Incredible. You've not only fixed the problem but improved the drive's efficiency by 12%. Ava couldn't help but beam with pride. Just doing my job, she said, trying to sound modest despite her elation. Perhaps, Zarn replied, its tone thoughtful. There is more to your species than we had believed. Ava Chen, I find myself in need of a skilled engineer for an important mission. Would you be interested in joining me among the stars? Ava's heart raced. This was beyond anything she had ever dreamed of. A chance to explore the galaxy, to work with technology beyond human imagination. But it would mean leaving everything she knew behind. As she stood there, surrounded by the pulsing energy of the luminary ship, Ava knew her answer. With a grin that could outshine stars, she looked up at Zarn and said, "When do we leave?" Little did Ava know that her decision would set in motion a series of events that would change not only her life, but the course of human history. As the luminary ship prepared for departure, a new chapter in the story of humanity's place among the stars was about to unfold. A leap of faith. The stars streaked by in brilliant ribbons of light as Zarn's ship, the Lumina, cruised through hyperspace. Ava sat in the co-pilot's chair, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the alien technology surrounding her. It had been 3 days since she'd made the impulsive decision to join Zarn on his mission, and every moment since had been a whirlwind of discovery and excitement. "So, Zarn," Ava began, breaking the comfortable silence that had settled between them, "you still haven't told me much about this mission of yours. Care to fill me in?" Zarn's skin rippled with shades of deep blue and purple, a sign Ava had come to associate with thoughtfulness. "It is complicated, Ava Chen. We are journeying to the edge of known space, to a place my people call the Nexus. It is a region where the fabric of reality itself grows thin." Ava leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "Thin? What do you mean?" "Imagine the universe as a vast tapestry," Zarn explained, his 4 hands moving in intricate patterns as he spoke. "The Nexus is a place where the threads of this tapestry begin to fray. It allows for possibilities, phenomena that defy our understanding of physics." "That sounds incredible," Ava breathed, her mind racing with the implications, "but also dangerous, I'd imagine." Zarn's skin flashed a brief warning red. "Indeed, the Nexus is not to be trifled with. My people have been studying it for millennia, trying to unlock its secrets. But recently, we've detected something troubling." As if on cue, a holographic display sprang to life between them, showing a swirling mass of energy that pulsed and writhed. At its center was a dark spot, like a cancer growing in the heart of the anomaly. "This void," Zarn continued, his voice grave, "it's expanding. Slowly, but steadily. Our projections show that if left unchecked, it could destabilize the entire region within a decade. The consequences for countless civilizations would be catastrophic." Ava felt a chill run down her spine. "And let me guess, we're the ones who have to stop it." Zarn's skin rippled with what Ava now recognized as amusement. Perceptive, as always. "Yes, that is our mission. We carry with us a device of my people's making, one that we believe can seal the breach. But to deploy it, we must venture into the heart of the Nexus itself." The gravity of the situation settled over Ava. She had signed up for an adventure, sure, but this was something else entirely. She was about to embark on a mission to save not just her own world, but countless others. The weight of that responsibility was almost overwhelming. I don't know if I'm cut out for this, Zarn, Ava admitted, her voice small. I'm just a mechanic from a backwater space station. What can I possibly contribute to something like this? Zarn turned to her, his multifaceted eyes swirling with a mixture of colors that Ava couldn't quite decipher. Ava Chen, in the short time I've known you, you've demonstrated an intuitive understanding of complex systems that rivals that of my own people. Your ability to think creatively, to see solutions where others see only problems. These are qualities that may very well save us all. His words bolstered Ava's confidence, but doubt still lingered. But why me? Why not choose someone from your own kind? Because sometimes, Zarn replied, his tone serious, it takes an outsider's perspective to solve the greatest challenges. Your human ingenuity, combined with luminary technology, may be exactly what we need to face the unknown. Ava nodded slowly, taking a deep breath to steady herself. All right then. I'm in. All the way. As if in response to her declaration, the ship suddenly shuddered. Alarms blared as the serene streaks of hyperspace outside the viewscreen twisted and warped. We're approaching the outer edges of the Nexus, Zarn announced, his four hands flying over the controls. Prepare yourself, Ava Chen. Things are about to get interesting. The Lumina dropped out of hyperspace with a lurch that nearly threw Ava from her seat. Outside, the familiar starfield had been replaced by a swirling maelstrom of energy. Ribbons of light in impossible colors danced and twisted, occasionally punctuated by arcs of what looked like lightning. By all that's holy, Ava whispered, awestruck by the sight before her. Zarn's skin had taken on a tense, mottled pattern. The Nexus affects different species in different ways. Are you feeling any discomfort? Ava did a quick mental check. I feel tingly, like there's electricity running just under my skin. But otherwise, I'm okay. Good, Zarn nodded. We'll need to move quickly. The longer we stay here, the greater the risk of unpredictable effects. As they ventured deeper into the Nexus, the ship's systems began to behave erratically. Displays flickered, and the engine's hum took on an unsettling, discordant note. Zarn, the quantum flux drive is destabilizing, Ava reported, her fingers dancing over her console. The harmonics are all over the place. If we don't do something soon, we could lose power entirely. Zarn's response was cut off by a violent shudder that rocked the ship. Outside, a tendril of energy lashed out, enveloping the Lumina in a crackling field of force. Shields at 60% and falling, Zarn announced, his usual calm demeanor showing cracks of concern. Ava, I need you to stabilize the drive. Without it, we have no hope of deploying the device. Ava's mind raced. The quantum flux drive was unlike anything she'd ever worked with before, and now it was being affected by forces she could barely comprehend. But she had to try. Taking a deep breath, Ava closed her eyes and placed her hands on the control panel. She could feel the ship's energy flowing through her, chaotic and wild. Drawing on everything she had learned about the luminary technology, she began to make adjustments, guided as much by instinct as by knowledge. As she worked, something strange began to happen. The tingling sensation she had felt earlier intensified, and suddenly, it was as if she could see the energy flows with her mind's eye. The quantum harmonics appeared to her as intricate, multidimensional patterns, where before there had been chaos, she now saw a complex dance of forces that she somehow understood on a fundamental level. With this new perception guiding her, Ava's hands moved with inhuman speed and precision. She wove the discordant energies back into harmony, creating a stable matrix that not only withstood the Nexus's influence but seemed to resonate with it. The ship's alarms fell silent, and the violent shaking ceased. Ava opened her eyes to find Zarn staring at her, his skin a kaleidoscope of amazed colors. Impossible, the alien breathed. You've not only stabilized the drive, you've integrated it with the Nexus itself. We're drawing power directly from the anomaly. Ava blinked, trying to process what had just happened. I don't know how I did that. It was like I could see the energy, feel it. Is that normal? Zarn's reply was solemn. No, Ava Chen, it is not normal at all. It seems the Nexus has awakened something within you, a latent ability that your kind may possess, but has never realized. Before Ava could fully grasp the implications of this revelation, a new alarm sounded. On the main view screen, the dark void at the center of the Nexus pulsed ominously, tendrils of nothingness reaching out towards them. We've no more time for wonder, Zarn declared. The void grows restless. We must act now. As they steered the Lumina towards the heart of the anomaly, Ava felt a mixture of fear and exhilaration. In the span of a few days, she had gone from a simple mechanic to potentially being the key to saving countless civilizations. And now, it seemed, she possessed abilities she never knew were possible. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Ava knew one thing for certain: her life would never be the same again. As the ship plunged deeper into the unknown, she steeled herself for whatever the Nexus might throw at them next. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and she was determined not to let it down. Pushing boundaries, the Lumina glided through the chaotic energies of the Nexus, its hull gleaming with an otherworldly light. Inside the ship, Ava and Zarn worked in perfect synchronization, their movements a delicate dance as they navigated the treacherous anomaly. Ava's newfound abilities continued to surprise her. She could sense the ebb and flow of the Nexus's energy, anticipating disturbances before they appeared on the ship's sensors. Her mind felt expanded, as if she could perceive dimensions beyond the usual three. Zarn, Ava called out, her voice tinged with a mixture of excitement and concern. I'm detecting a massive energy surge ahead. It's unlike anything we've encountered so far. The alien skin rippled with shades of deep purple and gold. I see it. Fascinating. The patterns suggest a localized reality distortion. We must proceed with extreme caution. As they approached the anomaly, the view outside the ship began to warp and twist. Stars stretched into impossible shapes, and the very fabric of space seemed to fold in on itself. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light engulfed the ship. Ava felt a sickening lurch, as if reality itself had hiccuped. When her vision cleared, she gasped in shock. The Nexus was gone. Instead, they found themselves floating above a planet that looked eerily familiar. Is that Earth? Ava whispered, her eyes wide with disbelief. Zarn's reply was cautious. It appears to be, but our sensors are giving conflicting readings. This may not be the Earth you know. As they watched, the planet's surface began to change. Continents shifted like pieces of a puzzle, oceans rose and fell, and the atmosphere flickered between different compositions. It's as if we're seeing Earth's entire history compressed into moments, Ava marveled. Past, present, and future. A series of images flashed across the view screen. Gleaming cities that put even the most advanced human metropolises to shame. Vast starships setting out to explore the galaxy, and finally, a civilization that seemed to have transcended physical form entirely. Incredible, Zarn murmured. We appear to be witnessing potential timelines for your species. The Nexus is showing us possibilities. Ava felt a surge of pride and hope for humanity's future, but it was quickly tempered by a sobering realization. But if we don't stop the void, none of this will come to pass, will it? Before Zarn could respond, the ship shuddered violently. The image of Earth distorted, torn apart by tendrils of darkness that reached out from the void at the heart of the Nexus. We must act now, Zarn exclaimed, his four hands flying over the controls. Ava, prepare the device. We'll only have one chance at this. Ava nodded, pushing aside her awe and fear to focus on the task at hand. She moved to a sealed compartment at the rear of the cockpit, where the luminary device waited. As she opened the compartment, Ava gasped. The device was a sphere of swirling energy, contained within a lattice of what looked like living crystal. It pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space-time. How do I activate it? Ava asked, her hands hovering uncertainly over the sphere. Zarn's voice was grim. The device requires a direct neural interface. One of us must connect with it physically and guide its energies to seal the breach. Ava's heart raced, and I'm guessing that's extremely dangerous. Indeed, Zarn confirmed. The strain on one's mind and body is considerable. There is a high risk of not surviving the process. A heavy silence fell over the cockpit. Ava knew what had to be done, but the enormity of the sacrifice required was overwhelming. "I'll do it," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Zarn's skin flashed with alarm. "Ava, no, you don't understand the risks. Your human physiology might be exactly what we need." Ava interrupted, her resolve growing stronger. "You said it yourself. Sometimes it takes an outsider's perspective. And with these new abilities the Nexus has given me, I might have a better chance than anyone." Zarn was silent for a long moment, his multifaceted eyes swirling with a myriad of emotions. Finally, he nodded. "Your courage honors you, Ava Chen. Very well. I will guide you through the process." As Zarn explained the intricacies of the neural interface, Ava steeled herself for what was to come. She thought of Earth, of the countless civilizations depending on their success, of the future she had glimpsed in the Nexus's visions. "I'm ready," she declared, placing her hands on the crystal lattice surrounding the device. The moment her skin made contact, Ava's world exploded into light and sensation. Her consciousness expanded, merging with the device, and through it, the very fabric of the Nexus itself. She could see everything, every possibility, every timeline, every potential future for countless civilizations. The knowledge threatened to overwhelm her, to tear her mind apart with its sheer vastness. But amidst the chaos, Ava found a center of calm. She focused on her purpose, on the need to seal the breach and stop the encroaching void. With a thought, she directed the device's energies towards the heart of the Nexus. The void fought back, its tendrils of nothingness lashing out against the onslaught of pure creation that Ava wielded. The battle raged across dimensions, with Ava's consciousness stretched to its limits. She could feel her physical body straining, hovering on the brink of destruction. But she refused to give up. Drawing on every ounce of her strength, on the resilience that had defined humanity throughout its history, Ava pushed harder. She wove the energies of the Nexus into a tapestry of reality, so strong that not even the void could tear through it. With a final, monumental effort, Ava sealed the breach. The void recoiled, its darkness swallowed by the light of a reborn Nexus. As the device's energies faded, Ava felt herself being pulled back into her body. The last thing she saw before losing consciousness was a vision of Earth, not as it was, but as it could be, a shining beacon of hope in a vast, wondrous universe. When Ava opened her eyes, she found herself lying on the floor of the luminous cockpit. Zarn knelt beside her, his skin a soft, soothing blue. "You did it, Ava Chen," the alien said, his voice filled with awe and respect. "You sealed the breach. The Nexus is stable." Ava tried to sit up, wincing at the effort. Every cell in her body ached, but she was alive. "We did it," she corrected with a weak smile. "I couldn't have done it without you, Zarn." As she looked out the view screen, Ava saw that the Nexus had changed. The chaotic energies had settled into a beautiful, swirling pattern. At its center, where the void had once threatened to consume everything, there now shone a brilliant point of light. "What happens now?" Ava asked, her mind still reeling from the experience. Zarn helped her to her feet. "Now, Ava Chen, we have much to discuss. Your actions today have not only saved countless lives, but have opened up new possibilities for both our peoples. The Luminary Council will want to meet with you, to learn from your experiences." Ava nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. "And Earth, what about my home?" "That," Zarn said, his skin shimmering with what Ava now recognized as a smile, "is entirely up to you. You have seen the potential of your species. Perhaps it is time for humanity to take its place among the stars. As the Lumina prepared to leave the Nexus, Ava gazed out at the transformed anomaly. She thought of the future she had glimpsed, of the challenges and wonders that lay ahead. Whatever came next, Ava knew that her journey, and humanity's, was only just beginning. With a heart full of hope and a mind expanded by the marvels of the universe, she was ready to face whatever the cosmos had in store. The ultimate test. The journey back from the Nexus was a blur of stars and swirling energies for Ava. Her mind, still reeling from the incredible experience of merging with the luminary device, struggled to process everything that had happened. Zarn had been a constant presence, monitoring her condition and offering support as she recovered. As the Lumina approached the outskirts of known space, Ava felt a mixture of anticipation and dread. They were headed for Luminara, the homeworld of Zarn's people, where she would face the Luminary Council and share her experiences. Zarn, Ava began, her voice still hoarse from the ordeal. What can I expect from your council? I'm not exactly versed in alien politics. Zarn's skin rippled with shades of deep blue and gold. The council is complex, Ava Chen. They are the wisest of my kind, but they can also be set in their ways. Your actions in the Nexus have upended much of what we thought we knew about the universe. Some will be fascinated, others wary. Ava nodded, trying to quell the butterflies in her stomach. No pressure, then, she muttered. As they approached Luminara, Ava's breath caught in her throat. The planet was a swirling orb of light and color, its surface covered in what looked like living crystal. Massive structures floated in the atmosphere, connected by bridges of pure energy. It's beautiful, Ava whispered, awestruck. Zarn's skin glowed with pride. Welcome to Luminara, Ava Chen, our home for countless millennia. And now, perhaps, a new beginning for our peoples. The Lumina glided smoothly into a docking bay that seemed to form organically around the ship. As they disembarked, Ava felt a tingling sensation wash over her. Don't be alarmed, Zarn reassured her. It's a biofield, analyzing and adapting to your physiology. It will ensure you can breathe comfortably and move normally in our gravity. Ava nodded, marveling at the advanced technology. As they walked through the crystalline corridors, she could feel the eyes of countless luminary upon her. Some looked curious, others wary, but all seemed amazed to see a human in their midst. Finally, they arrived at a vast chamber. At its center stood a circular platform, surrounded by tiered seating where dozens of luminaries sat, their skin shimmering with a rainbow of colors. The council chambers, Zarn explained softly. Are you ready? Ava took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. As I'll ever be. As they stepped onto the platform, a hush fell over the chamber. A luminary with skin that seemed to contain galaxies within its depths rose to address them. Zarn of the Explorers, you have returned. The elder luminary's voice resonated in Ava's mind. And you bring with you a human. Explain yourself. Zarn bowed respectfully. Esteemed Council, I present to you Ava Chen of Earth. It is thanks to her actions that the threat to the Nexus has been neutralized. A murmur rippled through the assembly. The elder's eyes narrowed, focusing on Ava. Is this true, human? You claim to have accomplished what our finest minds could not. Ava felt a surge of indignation at the condescending tone, but she kept her voice steady. With all due respect, it was a joint effort. Without Zarn and luminary technology, I wouldn't have stood a chance. But yes, I did interface with your device and seal the breach in the Nexus. The council members exchanged glances, their skin flickering with a myriad of colors. Finally, the elder spoke again. We would hear your account of these events, Ava Chen. But know this, we have ways of discerning truth from falsehood. Attempt no deception. Ava nodded, then closed her eyes, focusing on the memories of her experience in the Nexus. To her surprise, she found she could project these memories outward, sharing them not just as words, but as vivid sensations and images. She showed the council everything: the chaotic beauty of the Nexus, the terrifying void that had threatened to consume all, and the incredible moment when she had merged with the luminary device. She let them feel her fear, her determination, and the overwhelming sense of connection to the universe that had flooded her being. As the memories faded, Eva opened her eyes to find the entire council staring at her in stunned silence. Even the elders seemed shaken. "Impossible," one council member whispered. "No human should be capable of such feats." And yet, another countered, "We have seen the truth with our own minds. This human has done what we could not." The elder raised a hand for silence. "Eva Chen, your actions have saved countless lives and preserved the stability of our universe. For this, you have our gratitude. But you have also demonstrated abilities that, by all our knowledge, your species should not possess. This complicates matters." Eva felt a chill run down her spine. "Complicates how, exactly?" The elder's gaze was intense. "Your existence, your abilities, challenge everything we thought we knew about the development of sentient species. Some among us fear what this could mean for the balance of power in the galaxy." Zarn stepped forward, his skin flashing with protective colors. "Surely you're not suggesting—" "We suggest nothing," the elder interrupted. "But we must be certain. Eva Chen, we would subject you to the trials of illumination. They will reveal the true nature of your abilities and your intentions." Ava glanced at Zarn, who looked troubled. "What are these trials?" "They are a series of mental and physical challenges," Zarn explained quietly, "designed to push a being to their absolute limits. They are not without risk." Eva took a deep breath, considering her options. She could sense the tension in the room, the fear and suspicion directed at her. If she refused, she might never gain the luminary's trust. But if she accepted— "I'll do it," Eva declared, her voice firm. "I have nothing to hide, and if this is what it takes to prove that humanity is ready to join the galactic community, then so be it." The elder nodded solemnly. "Very well. The trials will commence at dawn. Prepare yourself, Eva Chen. For tomorrow, you face the ultimate test, not just of your abilities, but of your very essence as a sentient being." As Ava was led away to prepare for the trials, she couldn't help but wonder if she had made the right choice. The fate of humanity's future among the stars now rested on her shoulders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew she had to face them not just for herself, but for the entire human race. The dawn of Luminara brought with it a sense of anticipation that seemed to permeate the very air. Eva stood at the entrance of a vast, shimmering arena, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. Zarn stood beside her, his skin a comforting shade of blue. "Remember," Zarn said softly, "the trials will challenge you in ways you cannot imagine. Trust in yourself, in the abilities you've discovered, and know that whatever happens, you have already proven yourself a hero to both our peoples." Eva nodded, swallowing hard. "Thank you, Zarn, for everything." As she stepped into the arena, a hushed silence fell over the gathered luminary. The elder's voice echoed through the space. "Let the trials of illumination begin." What followed was a series of challenges that pushed Ava to the very limits of her newfound abilities and beyond. She faced physical obstacles that defied the laws of physics, solved puzzles that spanned multiple dimensions, and confronted illusions so real they threatened to shatter her sense of self. Through it all, Ava drew upon the strength and resilience that had defined humanity throughout its history. She adapted, she persevered, and she refused to give up. As she faced the final challenge, Ava found herself in a void reminiscent of the one she had sealed in the Nexus. But this time, she was alone, without the luminary device to aid her. "Create," the elder's voice echoed through the emptiness. "Show us the true potential of your species." Eva closed her eyes, reaching deep within herself. She thought of Earth, of the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. And then, drawing upon the energy she now knew flowed through all things, she began to create. From the void sprang visions of humanity's potential future, cities that floated among the clouds, ships that sailed between the stars, and technologies that blended seamlessly with the natural world. But more than that, Ava showed the luminary the spirit of her people, their curiosity, their compassion, their unwavering drive to explore and understand the universe around them. As the last echoes of her creation faded, Ava opened her eyes to find the entire council standing before her, their skin shimmering with colors she had never seen before. The elder stepped forward, its voice filled with a newfound respect. Ava Chen of Earth, you have passed the trials of illumination. In doing so, you have not only proven your own worth, but have opened our eyes to the true potential of humanity. A wave of relief and joy washed over Ava. She had done it. She had proven that humanity deserved a place among the stars. As the Luminary Council began to discuss the implications of Ava's success, she knew that this was just the beginning. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, discoveries, and wonders beyond imagination. But for now, as she stood in the arena surrounded by beings from across the galaxy, Ava Chen smiled. For in this moment, she was not just a simple mechanic from a backwater space station. She was the bridge between two worlds, the herald of a new age of cooperation and exploration. The universe, in all its infinite wonder, awaited a new horizon. The days following Ava's triumph in the trials of illumination were a whirlwind of activity. The Luminary Council, once wary of her presence, now sought her input on matters ranging from interstellar diplomacy to the nature of the universe itself. Ava found herself at the center of a cultural and scientific revolution that was sweeping across Luminera. As she stood on a balcony overlooking the crystalline spires of the luminary capital, Ava felt a presence beside her. It was Zarn, his skin shimmering with proud hues of gold and blue. "You've done it, Ava Chen," Zarn said, his voice filled with warmth. "You've changed everything." Ava smiled, but there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. "I just wish I could share this with Earth. My people, they have no idea what's out here, what's possible." Zarn's skin rippled with understanding. Perhaps it's time to change that as well. The Council has been discussing the possibility of official first contact with Earth. Ava's heart leaped at the prospect. Really? But I thought the Luminary had a policy of non-interference with developing worlds. "We did," Zarn nodded. "But your actions have forced us to reconsider many of our long-held beliefs. The potential you've demonstrated, it suggests that humanity may be ready for a greater role in the galactic community." As they spoke, a shimmering portal opened nearby. From it emerged the elder luminary who had overseen the trials, its skin now a calm, deep purple. "Ava Chen." The elder's voice resonated in her mind. "The Council has reached a decision. We wish for you to be our emissary to Earth, to prepare your people for what is to come." Ava felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. "Me? But surely there are more qualified." The elder raised a hand, silencing her protests. "You have proven yourself not just capable, but essential to this process. You understand both our ways and those of your people. There is no one better suited to bridge our two worlds." Ava took a deep breath, considering the enormity of the task before her. What exactly would this entail? "You would return to Earth," Zarn explained, "aboard a luminary vessel. Your mission would be to make contact with your world's leaders, to prepare them for official first contact. You would also begin the process of sharing some of our technology. Nothing too advanced at first, but enough to help your people take their next steps into the cosmos." The elder nodded. "It will not be an easy task. There will be those among your people who fear change, who resist the idea of a greater galactic community. But we believe that humanity is ready for this challenge." Ava's mind raced with the possibilities. She thought of the wonders she had seen, the knowledge she had gained. The chance to share even a fraction of that with her own people was both thrilling and terrifying. "I'll do it," Ava said firmly, her voice filled with determination. "But I have one condition." The elder's eyes swirled with curiosity. And that is? I want to bring a team from Earth back here, Ava explained. Scientists, diplomats, artists, people who can learn from the luminary and help prepare humanity for what's to come. We need to build trust and understanding on both sides. Zarn and the elder exchanged glances, their skin flickering with rapid communication. Finally, the elder turned back to Ava. Your proposal has merit. We will allow it, under careful supervision. With the decision made, preparations began in earnest. Ava spent the next few weeks absorbing as much knowledge as she could, preparing for the monumental task ahead. The luminary provided her with technology that would help her communicate with Earth's leaders and demonstrate the reality of extraterrestrial life. As the day of departure approached, Ava found herself back on the balcony, gazing up at the stars. Zarn joined her, a comforting presence at her side. "Are you ready?" he asked softly. Ava took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on a distant point of light. She knew to be the sun. "As ready as I'll ever be. It's funny, you know. A few weeks ago, my biggest concern was fixing outdated engines on a backwater space station. Now you carry the future of two civilizations on your shoulders," Zarn finished for her. "But you do not carry this burden alone, Ava Chen. Remember that." Ava nodded, grateful for the reminder. "Will you be coming with us?" Zarn's skin rippled with affirmation. "Of course. Someone needs to keep you out of trouble." As they shared a laugh, Ava felt a sense of peace settle over her. The path ahead would be challenging, filled with obstacles and uncertainties, but it was also a path of unimaginable potential. The next morning, Ava boarded the luminary ship that would take her home. As the sleek vessel rose into Luminara's atmosphere, she took one last look at the shimmering world that had changed her life forever. "Goodbye for now," she whispered. "And thank you." The ship accelerated, the stars blurring into streaks of light. Ava Chen, once a simple mechanic, now an emissary between worlds, set her sights on Earth and the incredible future that awaited. As they approached the solar system, Ava's heart raced with anticipation. She thought of all she had experienced, all she had learned. She thought of the challenges that lay ahead, the skepticism she would face, the fear she would need to overcome. But more than anything, she thought of the possibilities, of a humanity united not just as a planet, but as part of a vast, wondrous galactic community, of the exploration, discovery, and growth that awaited her people among the stars. As Earth came into view, a beautiful blue marble suspended in the void, Ava smiled. Whatever happened next, one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again. "Ready or not," she murmured, "here we come." And with that, Ava Chen, ambassador of humanity, prepared to take the first step into a new era of interstellar cooperation and cosmic adventure. The journey that had begun with a chance encounter on a distant space station had led her here, to the threshold of a new chapter in human history. As the luminary ship began its descent towards Earth, Ava knew that this was not an ending, but a beginning. A new horizon stretched out before humanity, filled with challenges, wonders, and infinite possibilities. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned, and humanity, with Ava leading the way, was ready to answer their call.